Welcome to my kitchen. Today, I want to ask you a question. Do you love tofu yet? I'm here to show you how to make a tofu dish that's so tasty, so appealing. You and all your family and friends are going to love it. Yes, today we're going to make sticky, sweet, and dare I say, sexy tofu and noodles with an incredible sauce with a little bit of maple syrup and a little bit of tomato and a little bit of gochujang, the Korean hot chili paste. But it's all going to come together in this umami-rich, savory, tangy, delicious noodle dish. And you're going to have your wonderful tofu that you can have for all the protein that everybody says we don't get. Ha ha ha. All that great plant-based protein, all those nutrients from this little bean food. Oh, it's so good. Sticky, delicious. And then, to go along with it, to make a meal, we've got this beautiful cucumber salad, which really comes together in a matter of minutes. We're just going to slice it up, toss it together, let it sit while we cook the rest of the meal. And honestly, you're in and out of the kitchen 15, 20 minutes tops. So I hope you will come along with me on this adventure where we get a little tofu, get a little noodles, get our wok going, and we are going to have a great meal. Because when you come to my kitchen, it is all about the flavor, baby. Let's get started. I cannot wait to eat this sticky, sweet, delectable tofu and noodles. To get started, I've got a cucumber, which I'm going to cut up to make a simple salad. I've got some brown rice vinegar and organic sugar, and I'm just going to stir those up with a fork. Get that started dissolving. It's going to dissolve on its own. It's not a problem. And then I'm going to slice this cucumber and put it into a bowl. Just thinly sliced. You notice I'm using a nice English cucumber. They have a very thin and delectable peel, and they also have fewer seeds and less wet pulp in the middle, so they are fine to eat unpeeled and unseeded, and it's just going to make a wonderful little quick salad. Now this salad is a great accent to go with the tofu noodles because they're all savory and full of umami. So I'm going to put in this, kind of crisp, kind of light, sour little cucumber dish on the side. And that's really all there is to it. You just slice up some cucumbers, toss them in this vinegar and sugar mixture, adding a little pinch of salt. Stir that up. And then we'll just let that stand while we finish the rest of the food. So I've got my beautiful tofu, which I wrapped in a towel. Now some people think it's going to be such a production to drain and press their tofu, and really it's not that big of a deal. This is extra firm tofu. It's already really been pressed. So I just wrapped it in a towel and let it sit in the room temperature so that it would get the extra moisture out, and it's going to be fine. We're also going to stir fry this so the moisture will pretty much move out of it. So I'm going to start by, I'm going to heat up my wok, which I've got this lovely cast iron wok, and I'm going to put my noodles into this water. So I've got some whole wheat linguine, which is my favorite for this, but you can also use rice noodles, gluten-free noodles, whatever works for you. So these take 9 minutes, so we're going to have to get them started because the rest of this is so quick. So we'll get the noodles in there, and I'm setting a timer for 9 minutes. And now I've got my wok heating up. Now, depending on your wok, this is a lovely cast iron wok that I've had for about 40 years. That's not an exaggeration. I got it as a gift. So it is obviously pretty well seasoned, serious heavy duty pan. It's too heavy really to shake it around in the air and do any sort of tossing. And that's all right, because I'm going to use it with a stir-fry tool. So I'm going to keep an eye on my noodles. And as the wok has gotten hot, I have cubed up this tofu. Now, tofu's been around for about 2,000 years. It was invented in China, and it has been an inexpensive way to get great plant-based protein. All right, that has gotten hot. You can hear it going in the pan. And I'm going old school by frying it in a wok because I want to kind of honor that tradition. People who invented it figured out how to cook it. So we're going to stir fry this on high heat. And I'll just put down my tool. So while that stir fries, our noodles are boiling, and I'm going to go ahead and put the sauce together for our sticky, sexy, sweet, delectable tofu that is so yummy you can hardly stand it. So I've got my maple syrup going into a bowl. And my tamari, 3 tablespoons of that, 1/4 cup of maple syrup, a tablespoon of tomato paste. You might say, tomato paste, maple syrup. Okay, and this is gochujang, Korean hot sauce, hot paste, chili paste. And we're going to get those guys mixed up and just keep stirring. Stir, stir, stir. Stir that. Stir this. And I'll whisk this up. So instead of, you'll often see recipes for this that involve ketchup. And I didn't want to use ketchup, so I'm using tomato paste and maple syrup so that it's got the sweetness and the tomato without being so full of high fructose corn syrup. Maple syrup is a fantastic natural sweetener. So I've got some water and cornstarch. 1/4 cup of water, tablespoon of cornstarch, and I'm going to whisk those up with a fork. Just get that cornstarch to dissolve. And then I'm going to whisk it into my sauce mixture. And this is the fantastic sauce for my sticky, sweet tofu. So I'll just keep stirring. Now, if you are wanting to cut back on the amount of oil in this dish, you can take this tofu out of the pan when it's done and drain it on paper towels, or try to remove some of the oil that way. But I'm just going to leave it in because I use beautiful avocado oil, which is a healthy fat, and it does add some richness and deliciousness to the dish. Let's face it, oil is delicious. So while these guys fry and fry, I'll just keep stirring. You can see I'm starting to see some golden on there. And the cast iron is a great conductor of heat. That's the main thing that you want, is something that will get really hot. So that's why we always go with the cast iron or carbon steel woks. But you know what, if you want to, you can use the saute pan you have, because that's how we roll here at my kitchen. I wouldn't want anyone to think that they can't make this dish if they don't have equipment. And you can certainly make it in the pan you have. Cooking my noodles. Getting close. We are so close, and I just love this dish so much. It's got all the flavors. It's got all the flavors we love. Because we all love our sticky and our sweet and our sexy and our hot. But gochujang has the added bonus. It's a chili, which has got heat, but it's also fermented. So it's got a little extra umami. And of course, our soy sauce has got umami. Tomato paste is actually an umami food because it's made from ripe tomatoes, which are higher in umami chemicals. And then it's concentrated, which makes it even more umami rich. And of course, maple syrup has great depth of flavor. It's not just sweet like sugar. Maple syrup has wonderful flavors that it adds to every dish. And so you always want to get grade B, which is the darkest kind. Sometimes you'll see a lighter color maple syrup, which used to be called grade A, and that's, it's an old prejudice. So nowadays we all want maximum flavor, so we go ahead and get the grade B and the darkest maple because it has the most mapley taste, and that's what we like. So it's starting to get nice and golden, and our noodles are almost done. So I'm going to go ahead and put the ginger, which I held back, which are wonderfully tasty, adding a lot to the dish. So the timer's about to go off. We'll get the noodles up and out of there. Let them drain for a second just to get the water off of them. So I can usually just set that there and stir this. Then in goes my beautiful sauce. Now look at that. Sticky, shiny, sweet. Then in goes my noodles. It's boiling. That's enough to cook the cornstarch.